Pathos, ethos, and logos. Can anybody remember what those three words mean? What ethos is? What about ethos? Anybody know what ethos is? What part of a good persuasion of ethos? Think of the word ethical. We said that ethos is actually a root word for the word ethical. Ethical means good, honest, reliable, trustworthy. So ethos is the part of the persuasion that appeals to the reliability of something. So our product is good, it's honest, it's reliable, right? And then pathos, you may remember pathos? It's the emotional part. It's the part of the persuasion that appeals to your emotions. You should buy this product because it makes you feel a certain way, right? And what about logos? Logos is reason. Remember, we get the word logical from logos. So logos is the part of the persuasion that appeals to your brain and your knowledge. You should buy this product because it makes sense. You're smart if you buy it. It makes sense, and it's the reason. So when you create a persuasion, or if you want to create an ad or a commercial, you're going to want to have all three things in it. You're going to want to appeal to people's emotions, appeal to people's intellect and their brain, and appeal to people's trust and the ethos and the reliability. Okay? So that's a quick review of those three words. Okay, and then we're going to, do you remember all the techniques that we went over yesterday? There were a lot of them. Snob appeal, repetition, emotional appeal, testimony, bandwagon, plain post, logical appeal. We also talked a little bit about one called transfer. Okay? Snob appeal. Anybody tell me about snob appeal? What was snob appeal? Yes, so snob appeal is a commercial or advertisement that is telling you if you buy this, you will be a little better than everyone else. You are part of the elite. You're part of the small special group that can afford this product. You remember the jewelry commercial that we watched yesterday, the Cartier commercial? Right? So this lady is wearing this really fancy dress, and she has this huge diamond ring. She's being carried down the stairs by all of these men in tuxedos. She's in Paris. Did we watch that commercial yesterday? And she's in Paris. So all of these things are luxury, right? They're luxurious. They're expensive. They're stuff that not very many people could pull off or afford. So that's the snob appeal. It can only be bought by a certain small group of people, right? Okay, what about repetition? Who can tell me about repetition?
Where to repeat something over and over.
It's something that repeats over and over again. It could be a song, or it could be a slogan, or it could be a word in a commercial that repeats over and over again. Did we watch the Yeezy shoe commercial yesterday? So you remember how many times it repeated the word Yeezy, and how many times it showed the shoe, and then repeated Yeezy and repeated Kanye West's name over and over again? That's repetition. So there's no doubt in your mind who makes the shoe, right? You know for sure that the shoe is made by Kanye West because it told you like 30 times in the commercial. That's repetition. It gets stuck in your head. Okay? What about emotional appeal? You can tell me about emotional appeal. What about anybody over on this side of the room? Anybody tell me about emotional appeal? Rhiannon.
When someone get asked to do, like, someone gets asked to marry you.
Yeah, so someone gets asked to gets proposed to. Okay, so that's a good example of emotional appeal. So like in a commercial, we're actually going to see a commercial sort of like that today. In a commercial, when, like think of those jewelry commercials, like the K Jewelers, every kiss begins with K. And you've got, you know, the man usually on his knee, and he's proposing to somebody, right? And then the woman is, oh, thank you, thank you. And that's emotional appeal, makes you feel warm and fuzzy, right? Sometimes we watch commercials and they're hilarious and they make us laugh. And we remember those commercials because we're like, oh yeah, that's the company that has a really funny commercial. They're really hilarious. Those Geico commercials are so funny. Or Flo from the Progressive commercial is really funny. She's so funny. That's emotional appeal too. It can make you happy. It can make you sad, like those sad abuse animal commercials, right, with the sad music. So is emotional appeal something that appeals to your emotions? That they're trying to make you feel something, right? Okay. Testimony. You can tell me about testimony. What's testimony?
Like if I was person, like saying you did this.
So testimony is when usually a celebrity tells you about the product, that they used it and they liked it. I think in some instances a testimony doesn't necessarily have to be a celebrity. I think I told y'all yesterday that testimony is when a celebrity tells you something about a product, and I'm going to kind of correct myself on that because it's a little bit broader than that. I think a testimony happens a lot when a celebrity tells you to buy something because they experienced acne when they were a kid and you should buy Proactive, like the Adam Levine commercial. However, I think really it's supposed to be any commercial that a person, you have a customer there and they're telling you about their experience with the product, or they're telling you about their own personal experience. That's a testimony. So I'm correcting myself, and I was a little bit wrong yesterday when I told you it's just a celebrity. It's really when anybody tells you about their personal experience. When they're looking at the camera and they're telling you about their personal experience. Now, it happens much more with celebrities in commercials, but it can be either way, okay? So I'm correcting myself on that one. Okay, what about bandwagon? Bandwagon. We watched the Coke commercial yesterday for bandwagon.
It's when like one person doing something and like more people just start doing a good thing.
Yes. So bandwagon is when everybody's doing it and then more people do it because everybody's doing it, right? The idea that you should buy this or you should do this because everybody's doing it. Okay? Plain boats.
When orange juice, orange juice
Exactly. That's a great example of plain boat. So think of the paper towel commercials. It's a normal, everyday item. And in those commercials, it's usually a little kid who spills, their grape juice on the floor. That's a normal, everyday kind of mess. And then mom comes along, and she gets a paper towel, and she wipes it up. That's a very normal, everyday kind of commercial, right? You have normal people, normal product, normal kind of mess. That's plain Vogue. That's plain Vogue. They're not using celebrities. They're not using super fancy people in it. They're not using, out of this world, problems. It's just kind of normal everyday problems, okay? Logical appeal. What about logical appeal? Remember, it's exactly what it sounds like. Logical appeal.
It's when they're like, if you're smart or buy this.
Logical appeal is going to be a commercial or an ad that will usually have a lot of data or statistics in the commercials, like 4 out of 5 people use this, or this car gets 98% on the safety scale. It's giving you all this data to prove to you that this car is the best and therefore makes the most sense to buy. The logical appeal is going to make you think, and it's going to kind of try to convince you that if you're smart, if you really want to make the best decision and you're smart, this is the most logical choice. You should definitely buy our car because it just makes more sense to buy our car. Okay? And then one thing that's not on here that we kind of talked about a little bit yesterday is the word transfer. And got it up there on the whiteboard behind these guys here. I have all of these techniques on the boards.